Hi empaths, welcome back to more crystal readings. So notice which crystal pulls your attention. You may feel energy coming from the heart, through your eyes, flowing into the crystal, right, as you connect with it visually. On the left, we have a selenite tower. In the center, we have an amethyst point. And on the right, we have a clear quartz tower. Just noticing which one you connect with, what's drawing you in, giving it that energy. You can also use your breath to help the energy flow, right? Using your mind. To connect the breath with the energy flow into the crystal. And then I'm going to tune into the crystal and see what energy I can pick up using the crystal as a medium. Sometimes your energy might overflow into more than one crystal, so you might want to check out all three. It's okay if more than one's pulling your attention, right? You can check out both of those, or just go right to the timestamp in the comment section or description of the video. All right, let's get started. Hi there to those of you that chose the selenite tower. Isn't this a nice one? I was gridding my office with it. Let's tune in and see what's coming up. Something about honesty, honest communication, or taking an honest look, an honest assessment, being honest with yourself about something. There might be something that you're experiencing right now that you have a blind spot, right? Or you don't have all the information. It might be something that's underdeveloped for you due to lack of experience. A muscle or skill that's been neglected. Perhaps it's always been taken care of for you, right? And there's this current want to be more independent or to strengthen this area, and you're being acknowledged for being honest with yourself here. That there's something you don't know, and you're seeking consult with an expert in some area. This could be finances. This could be something business related, how to promote a business, how to create a course, how to write a book, how to create a career giving speeches on topics, right? You realize you don't have all the pieces. And that's different than getting stuck in the drama of I'm not good enough, right? So you're discerning this. This is a skill you've learn discernment over your wounding and your honesty with yourself. This is being celebrated right now because there was a time where you mistook this not enough syndrome, right? I'm not good enough, I don't know enough, with the unpreparedness, right? And the earth element is coming in to say that this is coming into balance for you, right? I know the difference now between preparing myself, preparing what's under my control, what's in my influence, and then enjoying the confidence in my competence, right? So there's something about that. Yeah, this is one way you're finding more peace. You're getting out of your fear, and you're able to shine in some new endeavor here. What's also being acknowledged here is you have this eternal child archetype within, this childlike quality, this youthfulness, this youthful glow. Maybe you look a lot younger than you actually are physically, or just a childlike playfulness or wonder that's contagious and pleasant and interesting, and it draws people to you. And that lighthearted approach to whatever this endeavor is really going to help you. It's going to benefit you. People find that kind of energy contagious. It brings them back to childhood, right? It creates a regression, and in a good way. And the flip side of that, though, is this sometimes self-sabotaging mode of refusing to take responsibility in certain areas, right? So sometimes that goes hand in hand, where the eternal child brings a lot of light to the world, and is really rewarded. Sometimes it can attract in unwanted attention, but this is where the discernment comes in. You're able to know what's toxic for you, right? You've made progress here. You've gotten better at this ability to discern and create a boundary here, take responsibility for your well-being and own that, while still shining the childlike playfulness, right? Because that's this incredible polarity, because that childlike innocence, youthfulness, will disarm people, but oftentimes it will make people assume that you won't have boundaries, right? That there's no dark side, that you're an easy target. And I'm getting that you've been burned by that a lot, and maybe you were an easy target at one point, but no more. And there was a time where you dulled your shine, right? And you didn't feel like yourself because of that conditioning, where you associated shining and being who you really are with being in danger, and it would trigger your survival mechanism, right? It would put you in fight or flight, fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, because it would draw unwanted attention as well. And now you're learning how to balance that, right? How to turn it on when it's needed, how to use it for your benefit. Because you're trusting your body more. You're trusting the body sensations of, this is not a good match for me. This doesn't resonate. This is toxic for me, right? You're just more in tune with the inner knowing. There's part of you, there's this gap in information though. And you're either the type that prepares, right? You like to feel prepared, or right, like you value competence over confidence, right? There was this imbalance between confidence and competence for a while, and you're realizing you need both. Both are vital. You can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you don't have confidence to deliver your message, or to create that course, right? Or to write that book, or go to that audition, whatever it is, or to flirt with the person you're attracted to, whatever it is in life, right? If you don't have the confidence to do it, you eat alive in your feelings, right? You'll just be overwhelmed with insecurity, and it'll prevent you, it'll sabotage you. You also know, you've learned that confidence isn't your friend when you don't have enough competence in something, right? Maybe you've dove in headfirst in something and you're realizing, I don't have all the tools and skills here. And you're not meant to beat yourself up over that. This is a learning curve in understanding yourself, in self actualization, and really understanding this balance. That I need both. I need an equal amount of both for this endeavor. So you're being acknowledged for that this is balancing for you. And you're learning how much you need to prepare, what your style of prep is, whether you need to write things down, right? Or speak something to yourself, or meditate on something, or go out in nature and gather clues and synchronicities, right? From the divine. Oh, you're also understanding that maybe you have a more emotional process. So you might need more time, a delay to make a decision, right? Your process might be emotional in style, meaning you need a cycle, right? Either a night's sleep or a moon cycle, right? 28 days, or depending on the level of commitment or the risk, right? That you need time and space to really commit yourself, to know, to try something on, to feel like if it's a good fit for you. So when asked to commit or give an answer straight away, it doesn't feel comfortable. You're coming into greater knowing about yourself, your process, and your needs. This is what's setting you up for success. And then seeking this consultation with an expert of some kind, right? Maybe you saw there's so many ads right now, right? For people, oh, did you want to learn how to, buff up your Instagram, or, right? Like all these, or how to create a contact list, or, do you have a dream in your heart to build that e-course? Here's a class. There's so much out there. This is something you're also going to have to discern for yourself. Who's the best expert to work with, and what style is best for you, right? Would you rather read about it, right? Would you rather listen to someone talk about it? What's the best financial investment here? So there's a lot of decisions to be made here. This better understanding and knowing of yourself, maybe you're learning to take yourself off the pedestal and therefore take other people off the pedestal, right? Maybe there's this idea of being on a spiritual pedestal, like I'm more enlightened or I'm woke, as opposed to other people. Or maybe you're finding that people like that are coming into your experience. Right? The eternal child tends to just be naturally exuberant, playful, effervescent, shine a light. And some people are afraid of that innocence, right? Their approach is more of a feigned innocence. And so that's another way you might have been conditioned to reel that in, right? Why are you creating temptation for people, maybe, right? Or if people see you have in a good mood or celebrating in life, they want to level you and come in with whatever preachy, righteous verbiage they decide, right? Makes them look the best, in the best light. And I I'm getting you're more immune to that. You're more immune from being swayed by that, by being manipulated, or because you just know yourself and you know your intentions, and you know you're starting to have genuine love and confidence and self-esteem. This is just based on using life's challenges to learn and grow and transmute, right? Selenite helps us transmute energy, move stagnant chi, right, through the system, connect us to more light. Yeah, you're grounding down more into your body. You're embodying more, which is putting some of these parts in their place, right? Some of these parts that were created or conditioned in out of protection, and they're not genuinely who you are. As you get to know yourself, your true self, your higher self, how you truly identify, right? Who you really are, you're more capable of standing your ground, owning your beliefs, trusting in your own intentions, and not letting other people's evaluations of you shift your emotions. That's power, right? That level of certainty you can give yourself by knowing yourself, and trusting this process of life, of learning. Like, I don't know everything, and I have blind spots, and I accept that. I accept my imperfections. That can be a learning curve for people, particularly those of us who have a lot of earth dominance, a lot of, or an earthy style, right? We tend towards perfectionism, and we tend to value competence over confidence. And you're learning you need both. And that's coming into a beautiful balance. So I hope this resonated. I hope there was medicine in there for you. Something resonated. Let me know in the comments. Also check out the other readings to see if your energy spilled over. If you want a personal reading session, or to donate to the channel to help these readings come every week, right? And all the other content I'm creating, you're very valued for doing that. Thank you so much. Thanks for liking and subscribing. I will see you in the next reading. Bye, empath. Hi there to those of you that chose the Amethyst point. Right? Isn't this a nice piece? I really enjoy the color. I think it lightened up a little bit since I first purchased it, because I used to charge it in the sun, and it can shift the color, right? So I think it did lighten it a bit, but it's still beautiful. I take better care now that I have more knowledge, right? We do the best we can with what we know. All right, so tuning in. I'm seeing like a mama bear protecting her baby cubs. So you may be a parent, or right, and constantly considering what you do, think, say, show up affects developing minds, right? How you're modeling. So maybe you have high standards around that. You might also, it might also be this protector instinct, right? This inner protector part coming up, to make sure you're safe. And you know, as you know, amethyst is a stone of psychic protection. So and it's a spiritual stone. So perhaps there's this idea of spiritual commitments that you have, your values, right? About your process, about your values, about how you show up in the world, how you want what you want to model. But also the flip side is you can't control how you are perceived. Oh, I see. So getting out of pleasing mode, getting out of this people pleasing mode, in that I think there's this awakening, and it's probably something you're revisiting. This is probably not your first journey working with this idea of you can't control or influence how other people see you. You can influence how other people see you, but you can't control their filters, their perspectives, what they've already come through, and their biases, right? And so people pleasing will drain the life out of you, and you will be ineffective because you won't be living in your own values, your own good opinion. And there's some pulling back here that's happening. You're coming back in to regroup and understanding how you need to reset by unplugging from other people's agendas. Perhaps you do have this sensitivity, this intuition, this empathic sense of others' needs, their perceptions, their emotions, right? And it's no longer serving you in this leg of the journey, right? In the same way. So while attuning to energies as a skill, like I'm doing right now, is a great attribute of an empath or an intuitive. Artists have to do it, right? Anything you're doing where you're tuning into a frequency, it may not be helpful for in every area. So this is why we want to work on empowerment and creating stronger filters around what we're taking in on other people, and acknowledging that yes, you're highly intuitive and psychic, but it may not be useful in certain areas of life simply because it's a glimpse, right, into someone's emotional process, or what they're thinking in that moment. And would you want someone policing your thoughts all the time, right? It's like you don't land there all the time. It's just part of the process, and it's a glimpse. So if you're tuning into that moment and thinking that's just how this person is, or how they feel about me, or what's going to happen, it's just a glimpse, right? It's just a moment. So that might not be useful or helpful, and maybe you're realizing that, right? Maybe it has created misunderstandings. It has sabotaged your success, a successful manifestation. Maybe you thought someone wanted something because of this unspoken sense, and it turned out to not be true because it was just a glimpse. It wasn't inaccurate. It might have just been a moment that you were tuning into. My mentor talks about that often, how sometimes the psychic perception can work against us because it's just a glimpse, it's just a moment. So learning to ask questions, right? If this is also about not assuming what other people need. So you might find that you're learning to ask more questions to clarify, right? Brene Brown is coming up. In her work, she talks about how we make assumptions. We make things mean things, and then we tell ourselves a whole story about it, right? Like if I get a downvote, right, or a thumbs down on one of my videos, I could make that mean a multitude of things. That's not a great example because I don't know who that is, so I can't go to them and say, what was it that you didn't enjoy, right? Or is it an element I could shift or change, or I'd love your feedback. If it would help me grow, I would be happy to consider it. But if it's just a downvote, I might tell myself a whole story that, I'm no good at this. I should stop doing this work. I should discontinue these videos. But it could just be this person doesn't like redheads, right? It's something I can't change. It could also be like they just didn't like the colors I was wearing. They thought my makeup looked bad. I said too many times, right? So it could be a multitude of things, but I'll never know what it is. That's true for a lot of our interactions. We make a lot of assumptions and tell ourselves stories based on past experiences. The brain operates like this. And sometimes we need to override that process. And you're learning to do that more and more. And it's really empowering, right? It's helping you stay aligned to your own values and integrity by clarifying with other people their intention behind things, right? Because a lot of people are being conditioned now to that mystery is attraction, not using so many words is attractive, it's seductive. And so it's creating a lot of misunderstandings, but they're doing that in order to make you think about them more, right? To be a little confusing. So if you're having these misunderstandings, consider that. Is this person trying to draw you in? Is this person trying to attract you or make you think about them? Also consider, is this something that maybe I'm telling myself a story, because that's how the brain works, right? What we can do with that is go to the person that we're thinking this about and say, hey, you left me on red. I'm making this mean. Now, I'm not saying do that if you're newly dating somebody. If it's an invested relationship, right? If this is like a friend, a valued person in your life, someone who's shown investment, a trusted person in your life, right? It can help with acquaintances too, but I'm not saying that that's a great dating thing. It can be, but that's not what's coming in now. This is about, I feel like I need to clarify that, right? This is about valued, invested relationships. About clarifying intentions, right? For your own empowerment, for your own clarity and sanity, right? Hey, I'm making this mean, could you tell me what that meant? And Brené's, I'm not coming up with a great example maybe, but Brené's example was, I think this was on one of the Super Soul Sunday kind of just discussions. She had Brené Brown on, Oprah did. And Brené's example was, say we're walking down after we wrap, right? And we're walking down the yard, and I say, that went well, didn't it? And Oprah kind of goes, and so Brené takes that in and makes that mean I'm not good enough. That really sucked. Wow, I misspoke. Like, my work isn't valuable. Like, she could make it mean a million things based on her own insecurities and experiences and whatever else, right? And her advice was, through her research, based on her research, to go to Oprah and say, hey, when we were walking down the hill and you kind of let out a sigh, I made that mean something about me. Could you just clarify what was happening there? I mean, and then it might have meant she hurt her ankle when she was walking, or you know what I mean? It could mean nothing. And that's one of the 4 agreements, is to take nothing personally. And it really brings us more freedom if we are able to do that, right? If we can make everything an opportunity and nothing, it never means something about who we are, but it can be an opportunity to grow, to reveal something, to understand, right? Even if you're receiving criticism or perceived rejection, you can grow from that, you can learn from it, and you can use it to inform your process and your path and growth by not taking it too personally, right? It's not about your identity. It's not about who you are or your worth. But if you're on a spiritual path, right, if you're tuning into a crystal reading, chances are you're on a path of growth. And there are areas where maybe you still have a fixed mindset. So consider where that can shift into growth. I invite opportunities to grow, to learn, to illuminate my blind spots. And I don't need to fake perfection. And that can be the kind of modeling of self-love and self-acceptance, right? Getting out of this ideal person that I need to live up to constantly. And if I don't, I punish myself. It doesn't work. It's been proven to not work. We're getting out of that. You're shifting out of this. You're shifting out of this because you're unplugging from other people's agenda. You're actually becoming more aware of how people are manipulating this illusion they're creating to suck you in and to shift your emotions, to play on your emotions. You're onto it. And it's not working anymore. And that's part of this protection. That's part of the spiritual protection, is just, no, I'm really in tune. I'm really in tune with myself and my values. And what's most important about that is how is your internal state of being, right? Because that will broadcast out. And that's what will help protect you from invasion, is kind of owning what others might be insecure about, owning that shadow and fully accepting yourself. That self-acceptance can be very shielding, right? It gives you the sense of homeostasis. Unplugging from the agendas of others, getting clear about what you want, what you, your desires, your intents, your values. Yeah, that's becoming very clear, particularly in this climate, right? Where everything's a little charged. You're really clear. You're getting really clear about what's yours, what's not, and how you've been manipulated in the past. You've actually maybe looked into that, and now you're onto them, right? You're onto it. You're onto these tactics of manipulation, how people pull on your heartstrings, they played on your sensitivities. Maybe that's why that mama bear came in. You're not allowing that to happen. You're not allowing that to happen anymore. You're overriding that. You're arming yourself with information. There's also something about something you're trying to manifest here. As you become clear about your own ideals and intents and goals, right? As you pull back from other people's agenda for you, what they wanted for you, maybe that's the parental thing that's coming in. Right? Like what mother wanted, what father wanted for your life. You've consistently processed that out, right? And you're becoming clearer about what your true path is, what your true north is, based on your own inner compass, as you've unplugged more and more from these agendas. What do you really value? What is your true north? What is your purpose? There's this expanded feeling, this expansion that's happening in the energy field because of where you're at in the manifestation process. There's something that you're intending to manifest. Summer is coming up as a timing thing. So maybe it's something you're wanting in the summer. So not attaching to outcomes here, right? Expanding out and opening to now receive the manifestation, if that's where you're at in the process, right? Remembering to not be attached to the outcome. You've worked with emotional resonance, right? You've gotten in touch with your own values, integrity, agenda, desire, goal, and you're aware that you're co-creating, right? So it's coming from a higher power. So it's not purely based on your will, right? So we're co-creating here with higher power and intending for that thing we've anchored, right? We associate with the emotional outcome we're actually seeking, right? We don't know for sure if that outcome will draw in that emotional outcome, right? So we don't know if paying off the debt is going to feel like a relief, right? If that's going to provide the relief we're seeking. We don't know if getting the new car will provide the sense of freedom that we're actually seeking, right? We don't know if getting that job will provide the sense of fulfillment, right? Whatever we've anchored to, that's what we want to guard against attaching to, that outcome. The emotional outcome is what we really want to put out there, plant the seeds for, and say, yes, I want this car, or this sum of money, or whatever, or something better, right? Something that's a more resonant match to that emotion. And then we trust that that's the important part, right? The letting go, the trusting in the co-creative forces to bring in experiences and to reveal a path towards that. And we take guided action around that. Right, what's coming in now is expanding and kind of relaxing. So maybe there is this attachment. We want to withdraw the attachment, right? The checking in on how's it coming, and take action steps we're guided to take. So we tune in, right? We tune in and ask, we tune into the emotional resonance of what we're looking to manifest, and then we ask what guided actions we should take that day. And then follow your guidance, right? Follow the wisdom that comes in. Oh, getting really clear about whether or not it's yours. If you're an empath, sometimes what will happen is, my mentor talks about this, we might get, kind of enmeshed with other people's agendas. And this is what we've been sorting, right? This is what perhaps you've been sorting through. What was yours, what wasn't. And that can often come in with enmeshment to parent. So then it shows up in other ways, in other relationships. This can be an empath wound. So when we tune into guidance of, or even what we want to manifest sometimes, right? That we can be confused about what's ours and what's somebody else's, and actually think, this is what I want to manifest, but it's actually someone else's intent. And that can get confused too for empaths. And that's something that maybe you've had experience with, so you understand. And if not, no need to worry about that part. But discerning that, right? What's really yours. And maybe working with Amethyst can help you, or another crown chakra stone, right? Or third eye stone, this goes with third eye too, can help you tune into that guidance, what's meant for you, right? And provide some spiritual protection around what's not yours, right? So using a crystal to help tune you in, right? Attune you to what's yours. Amethyst may help with that. And some people do find it relaxing too. For me, it's more stimulating than relaxing. It is in the quartz family, so for me, it's more like a lepidolite or something like that to relax. But it also depends on your system and how it responds to the vibration. So you might find that this helps you relax, expand, right? And get in touch with what's yours and your values. Make it safe for you to expand, right? Yeah. Yeah, because maybe that the mother bear protecting her cubs is this protector part that's concerned about expanding out, that it always has to be on guard. And we want to respect that protector, it's, for doing what it feels is necessary to keep us safe. And maybe find other ways so that we're able to relax, right? Get out of caregiving or compulsive caregiving, right? Or compulsively filling a role that maybe isn't even ours to fulfill. So it's not fulfilling. So this is what's happening now. Maybe this is being clarified for you. You're waking up to those things that are in place that maybe no longer resonate, that wasn't for you to begin with. And that's making you a better role model to those in your care. It's also creating a more safe and nourishing space for your inner child. So I hope that was helpful. I hope there was some medicine in there for you. Let me know if that resonated in the comments. Thanks for liking the video, subscribing to the channel. That's really valuable to me. Check out the other readings to see if your energy spilled over, if there's medicine there for you. If you want a personal reading or session, or to donate to the channel, I really appreciate that. That really helps keep me going. That all those links will be in the description of the video. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Bye, empath. Hi there to those of you that chose the clear quartz tower. Some rainbows in there. I really love this one. Okay, let's tune in. So I'm seeing the word support with gold coins flowing in. So maybe financial support, maybe you're receiving financial support, or you're in need of strengthening your finances, financial freedom. There's an issue here of a link between forgiveness, needing to forgive or come out of blame or resentment that's creating attachment to empower you financially and create expansion and allow you to receive provision. So there might be an enmeshment here that's preventing you from flourishing here in this area, right? It might be one muscle that's atrophied. This understanding of how to thrive independently, financially. And there's a link between blaming a parent, perhaps father, right? Like there was this, there's an enmeshment here, perhaps with father, that's preventing independence. It could also be conflict with mother that created the enmeshment to begin with. But what's being highlighted here is blame to father. That needs forgiven. And if it's a toxic situation, forgiveness doesn't mean, you know, I expose myself all the time to you, to your energy. And also it doesn't, this person doesn't need to be alive to heal the relationship, right? It's more about forgiving yourself for participating in this dynamic. Especially if you still are. The end of this cycle is coming. You're feeling it culminating, that you're going to learn to fly here in an area where the muscle isn't developed yet. So you don't know how yet, and that's scary. You're afraid to take this leap, right? Like when a bird learns to fly, if you've ever watched, perhaps there's a video online or something. I was fortunate enough to be outside and watch a baby bird that was learning to fly, right? Fresh out of the nest. These are metaphors for life, right? We see these metaphors everywhere in nature. This baby bird was on the ground and it could only flap its wings for a short time, and then it would land back on the ground. So it was really looked like it was just kind of jumping. It was learning, right? It was building the muscle. You're getting ready to take that risk, take that leap, and trust that you're going to start building the muscle. I'm getting that it's around finances and career, right? That when does support no longer become supportive for the process, right? When does it start becoming dependency? And this might not be your exact situation, but there are certain things where sometimes parents have the wrong job description. So they think that it's their job to take pain away from a child, to take all challenge out of life. And that's where you forge strength. So it can be a form of neglect in a way, right? If you weren't believed in enough to sort of take risks, or to make it on your own, right? Or to go through some things, right? So there's an area in life here where you feel atrophied, like you've never, there's still some dependence happening, or enmeshment where you're hitting a ceiling here and you can't quite make sense of it. And what's being required or called on or highlighted is forgiveness. There's a relationship here, and it could be parental. That's what was coming in, like a father figure or caregiver, right? Some people, their mother was both for them. Having the wrong job description and compulsively caregiving, possibly, or compulsively supporting, and you never having the opportunity to kind of learn. This could also be a partner who feels, right, so certain things were always taken care of, so you never had to kind of look at this aspect of life or take care of it, and now you're trying to build this muscle. This is a learning curve, and that's okay. This is just part of your path, part of your journey. You're starting to feel like it's time, right? There's something about being in nature that supports this process. Perhaps when you're outside, you feel the magic of nature, right? You feel connected to nature spirits, the energy there, and that speaks to you. These metaphors of the bird learning to fly, right, maybe speak to you. And so every time you're outside, you're being informed, you're seeing the guidance. You can also, if you see certain animals or plants or whatever it is, you can look up the meaning, if it's an omen or if it's even if it's a dream symbol. I still even look that up, what it means in a dream. It's just as valid if we see it in waking life. And I'll see if there's meaning in there for me. So that might be something you're already on to. Yeah, but it's time to end whatever phase this is and move on to this time of learning to fly. And it's divine. You're being guided, right? I know it's scary. It feels risky. You got to build the muscle. You're very capable of doing so. You haven't been given the gift of that trial and error to be able to learn. Now's the time, right? So whatever area of life this is speaking to you, it might not be finances, it might not be career. That's what's coming in for me. If there's an area in life here where you want to gain skill, right? It's a necessary component of life. It's something that you need to learn to do, right? To feel solid, stable, secure, and you've just never had the opportunity. You know, it's coming up. Now's the time. It won't be forced upon you. I'm getting that it's your choice to take this risk, take the leap, learn to fly, and build this muscle, and to look around and take account for all those people that will support you along the way, right? By cheerleading you, by recognizing your value, by being confidants, right? In those hard times, giving you wisdom and advice, those mentors that you've met along the way, right? That have inspired you or saw something in you, right? Because parents can't take care of everything. That's why in family constellation work, will account for mentors, teachers, even friends, right? The chosen family that have come in. They're a support network as well that can help us feel more secure, safe, and solid, and give us a sense of belonging here, right? If there's conflicted relationship with mother, it can affect our relationship to provision. So walking out in nature can help connect us to that sense of belonging, right? When we connect to nature, we can see we have a place here, we can harmonize to it, and learn and grow that way. So maybe you're finding a connection to animals or plants, trees, informing your process here, and you're feeling the magic there, right? Of the elements that are unseen, those guardians of nature or nature spirits, or, right? There's magic there. There's something you can feel and sense, but you can't always see, right? And so maybe that's part of your support network as well. These unseen forces. There might also be something coming up around making peace with your hometown. Right? If you were always running away, or if there's wounding there, not feeling a sense of belonging, or if you were mistreated, neglected, abused by caregivers, this can be something that's coming up to release, to let go, and this is what we mean by forgive, right? Because that resistance, or that trying to keep something at arm's length, or the blaming, right? It keeps us attached to things, and we aren't able to really see it clearly. So this is something this perspective is shifting. Something's collapsing here. A trigger is collapsing here. And this is going to open you up to accept this opportunity to learn to fly. This chance. You're being given a chance here. And as I said, it might feel a little risky only because it's not a muscle that's been developed yet. You're being encouraged to take this opportunity. And you can use your support system as training wheels along the way to give you guidance, advice, wisdom, to cheerlead, to champion. But now's your time. You're learning to fly. Okay, I hope that resonated. I hope there was some kind of medicine in there for you. Let me know in the comments if it resonated. That's always helpful for me. Thanks for liking the video, subscribing to the channel. That's valuable. If you want a personal reading or session, or to donate to the channel, thank you so much for anyone who's donating. That keeps me going. I'm able to bring you content, right? Those links are all in the description of this video. Check out the other readings to see if there's your energy spilled over. There's information there for you. And thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye, empath.